this week to Connected. I cannot wait to talk about this topic. So my girl Jackie Hill Perry made these great shirts. They say Jesus and therapy, which is, my outlook on life. I think those are the two things you need the most. You need you some good Jesus, but you also need you some good talk therapy. And it's okay as Christians for us to say that I need Jesus and therapy. That I'm going to pray it out and I'm going to talk it out. So we've had a scripture here, though, that I want to encourage you with today. If you look at Philippians, the 4th chapter, the 12th verse and the 13th verse. In the 12th verse, the writer says, you know what? I am not saying this because I have so much, but I know what it is to have plenty, and I know what it is to not have much. But I have found a secret of being able to be content in every situation that I find myself in. What's that secret? He tells you in the next verse, I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I can do all things. There's nothing that I can't do with Jesus and therapy. I can find my joy. I can get my joy back. I can push. I can become all that God has called me to be. I can live my tailored life. I can live the existence that God has called me to live. But I have to make sure that my joy is intact. I have to make sure that I am really communing with Jesus, communing with Christ. And then also, I have to make sure that I'm shaking off every bit of depression, every bit of guilt, every bit of unforgiveness that I'm carrying with me, because that is holding us back from doing all things. So we can only do all things when we are walking through what? Through Christ. Walking with who? With Christ. So I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. Or in another scripture, it says that when I am weak, he is strong. So again, we see in scripture where it is okay for you to admit that you are weak. It is okay for you to say, I can't handle this. It is okay for you to say, you know what, God, to be honest, I know they said you won't give me more than I can bear, but this is real, real heavy. But the great thing is that he's got you. He's got you. Because if you just curl up and ball up in him, stay in him, then you'll be able to fight any situation. You'll be able to find joy in even the worst situations. Now, there are times, and I'll admit there are times even with me, where I allow people to push me further than I should allow them to do. But God has grace. God forgives me. I have to forgive myself. And then I'm able to push forward and keep becoming and keep being who God has called me to be. God is calling you to do the same thing today. So I want you to take some time this week, as I always say, and read the 4th chapter of Philippians. Read it in its entirety. And then let's talk about it right here in the comments. Let's talk about why God is your peace. Let's talk about needing Jesus. And let's also talk about that it's okay to have therapy. Let's have the conversation so that we don't have to have the sorrow later on because we didn't have an uncomfortable conversation. I love you, and so does God. See you next time on Connected.